right, we're at the top of the hour. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our community practice call. It's good to be with you. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So my name is Nicolette. I'm our moderator. And I also have Ted Ryder here and Jennifer Vega, a couple of other assistants, folks from our team. So thanks for being here to support. This is a 90-minute call. We do a practice theme and a Q&A. So John will lead some kind of a practice or teaching. And today's theme is the Arc of Embodiment, which is something that I've heard John talk about, but not too much. So I think it'll be exciting for you to get this. It's something that I really love hearing him talk about. We love having you on video. We really get to feel that sense of community. But I do want to let you know that we make this public on YouTube and in our virtual workshop. And then sometimes we also pull clips for Instagram. So if you are not comfortable with that, it is totally fine. You can go off video. You can use a pseudonym, anything that would make you feel more comfortable. Again, like if you raise your hand and you have a pseudonym, I'm just going to call the name that I see. So there is absolutely no pressure either. Seen on our YouTube or on our virtual workshop. Let's see here. When we get to Q&A time, you can raise your hand using the reactions button at the bottom of your screen. There's a little raise hand, little bar that says raise hand. You push that, and that's how you can raise your hand to get into the queue. We try to keep a variety of masculine, feminine, and couples who are bringing questions. So we'll be feeling that out, but please, all are welcome. And if you have a question for John, once we dive into this, then please feel free to raise your hand. We will be spotlighting people who ask questions. So that is just for your information. If you don't feel comfortable being spotlighted, then probably that's so that we can more easily focus on John and you. The chat thread is there for logistical questions, for connecting with one another, general response. It's not for content-based questions for John. He really sticks with the person who's in front of him. And we're trusting that you're going to bring true compassion and kindness to one another. So if you want to give somebody feedback or offer advice or resource, then be sure to ask first for permission. And if they say yes, then go for it. Otherwise, just use it as a place to support one another, and try not to have too much side conversation over there so that it's not distracting to what's happening in front of us. People tend to get really vulnerable in these calls, and we want to create a safe space for them. This is a free call, but, and we talk about this every time, we'd appreciate your support of Claire's Place Foundation. This is the foundation started by John's late daughter. And it's for children with cystic fibrosis who do continue to struggle during these times. So I will put a link in the chat if you are interested in donating to Claire's Place. We appreciate you paying it forward and supporting those who really need it right now. If you have any questions during the call, please feel free to chat with me privately. Otherwise, we will dive right on in. Are you out there? Not yet. Okay. Oh, here he is. Okay, great. So we'll start in just a moment here.
Okay. You guys can all hear me, see me?
Yes.
Good. All right, hold on. Let me try one thing. I was having a little technical difficulties this morning, but we're good. Hi. Okay. So we want to jump into this concept of embodiment, right? What is embodiment? And I got some notes from Nicolette on some ways that we describe this. So let me just give. I'm going to start with this, and then I'm going to take your questions. So I've had a few different definitions of embodiment, right? And the one that I find most just easiest to work with is this idea of taking something that's etheric, like devotion or um, fierce love or presence, right? These things that are sort of concepts that can be a bit etheric, and making them real through the body, right? So that's one definition of embodiment. Another definition of embodiment might actually be to get more aware of your body, right? And to go deeper into your body. So when you breathe down into your pelvic floor, for example. So let's just try that a few times. So if you take an inhale through the nose and you let the base of your body expand, your pelvic floor expand, and you bring your awareness down to the pelvic floor, expanding it like a balloon being blown up. And then exhaling, letting it contract again. And then inhaling, letting it expand. Pressing down into your genitals, down into the earth. Let's try that for another 30 seconds, a few more breaths. And notice the part of you that doesn't want to do it, or the part of you that's fidgeting, or the part of you that wants to stay up in your head. That's your resistance to being embodied. So bring your awareness and your breath. You're bringing all your breath down to the pelvic floor, expanding it as you inhale, gently contracting it as you exhale, feeling the oxygen, the blood flow down into your lower abdomen, into your genitals. You're literally going deeper into your body by bringing your breath and your awareness. Now take that awareness and that expansion in your lower abdomen and ground it down into the earth. Literally press down through the ribs, down through the heart. Just ground it down into the earth. And now go ahead and open your eyes. But don't leave that area. Like keep some awareness in that part of your body. Do you feel more embodied? Do you feel like you're deeper in your own body? So that's embodiment as well, right? Bringing your awareness, your breath, right, which is basically the feminine, right? And your awareness, which is our masculine, all of us. And you're bringing all of that down into your lower abdomen, into the deeper part of your body, hence you're more embodied, right? So when people talk about how do I get more embodied, it's almost too fucking simple for most people, right? It's almost like, no, like it has to be more than that. And there is more than that. We're going to get into it, but that gives you a really simple way to go deeper into your body. These are your simple ways, right? I could also say to you, and we'll do a little practice at the end of this. I could talk about how to take something like devotion and, you know, bring it into your heart, receive devotion into your heart, and then amplify it. And now you're embodying devotion. Or I could say, and you know, the number of you who've worked with me, I could say, like, find the part of you, the spark in you that loves fiercely, that loves completely, that loves with abandon. Now amplify that part. Now you're amplifying and embodying fierce love. So those are a couple concepts, but there's an arc that we've talked about before, and I wanna add this piece to the pie, and then we'll take some questions on embodiment and what you think, you know, how you can bring it more into your life. So the first piece, I think Nicolette posted these. The first piece is recognition, right? So recognizing, let's just keep it, let's take it into the realm of the masculine and the feminine, right? Our innate masculine, our innate feminine, we all have that. It's not gender based. Gender does not matter. We all have a part of us that's aware We have a part of us that's aware, that is wanting to go in and get still. Everybody recognize that? There's a part of us that's aware. You're aware that we're having this conversation. You're aware that I'm here talking to you. That awareness and the sort of space and stillness deep inside that does not change, that is your innate masculine in this framework. Now you could pick another fucking framework. I'm just giving you one that I learned from my teacher, and this is one I think that has it's mirrored in nature. It's mirrored in our brain, like we have a right brain and a left brain, which perfectly describes our masculine and feminine, right? And so all of these things are not gender based, they're within every human, just to make sure that's really clearly stated. So recognition, when you recognize the part of you that wants to go deep within, that is boundless consciousness, that is infinite space, that is unchanging you, you're recognizing your own masculine essence. Does that make sense to everybody? More or less? We can take a question on or two, so now, in contrast to that, when you recognize the part of you that wants to move, that wants to feel, that wants to burst out, that wants to express, that wants to live. The masculine in us isn't really thinking about living, it just is, right? The feminine in us is thinking about living, it's thinking about life, the world, people, love. When you recognize that part of you, now you're recognizing your innate feminine. So far, so good. Makes sense. Okay. Now, once you recognize that party, the party that wants to move, the party that wants to love, the party that wants to give, the party that wants to feel, now you can amplify that part of you so that it becomes sort of more alive in your cells, more alive in your body. You can amplify it. You just basically use your energy, the energy maybe in the core of your heart, the energy running through your body, the energy that you got from the walk you just took, the energy you got from yoga or dancing, and you just amplify it. You just turn it up, just like a dial. You just turn it up. And you can do the same thing for the stillness. It feels different in the body, but you can amplify your masculine and your feminine. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get that concept, but it's not hard once you get it. So once you're doing that, once you amplify it, you're literally spreading this energy, this innate feminine, like let's just say the joy of being alive. Joy of being alive, right? You're spreading the joy of being alive. You've recognized it, you're amplifying it, and now it's actually filling every cell of your body. The joy of being alive. So you could just say, yeah, I'm happy to be alive. Grateful. I could do a gratitude list. You could write what you're grateful for, or you can embody gratitude. Every cell of your body, grateful. Every cell of your body, alive. Every cell of your body. It's harder for innately masculine beings to do this, right? But it's totally doable. And you can amplify that into a state of what we call embodiment. So taking the recognition of this innate masculine and feminine and all the textures within each of them, amplifying them, and then filling your body with that amplified energy, that's a process of embodiment. Next step, which very few people actually get to, but I think is really important, is an integration, right? Which is to integrate your divine masculine, your innate masculine, and your innate feminine. And an easy way to think about this, I just finished a book on a big part of this. It's about integrating the part of you that's all feeling and the part of you that's all awareness. So when I said take an inhale down into your lower abdomen, you could actually, if you tried, you could feel the breath down into your lower abdomen. The breath is the feminine, the breath is life, right? And you brought your awareness to that breath. So it was just about you could feel your pelvic floor expanding, you could feel the breath going into your lower lungs, you could feel your abdomen. Now you're merging, integrating your awareness and your feeling body. Your awareness and your feeling body. When you do that, you've kind of created, and this doesn't, gender again doesn't matter. This is just a matter of practice. So you've integrated your masculine and your feminine in the moment, your yin and your yang. You've integrated that, your feeling and your awareness. And this can now be taken into everything. It can be taken into your sex, it can be taken into your grieving, it can be taken into your emotions. So let's say you're feeling sad, right? And you turn you allow that sadness to amplify because you want to express it, and you amplify the sadness. Maybe you make sounds, maybe you listen to music, maybe you cry, and now you're in this very deep state of emotion. Bringing your awareness to that, to the sensation of sadness, is a transmission of your, is an integration of those two things, of your masculine and your feminine. Is this making sense, or am I losing you guys? Okay, so these are meditative practices that can be amplified and practiced, right? And Adi Da, who is one of my teacher's teachers, right? My teacher's teacher's teacher. So it goes way back. Adi Da talked about this as the perfect meditation to combine awareness and feeling. To combine awareness and feeling. He talked about it a little different. I'm giving my own spin on it, but it's basically the same concept. That is the true unification of our masculine and our feminine. And now, once you've done that in your body and you're like, okay, like I'm sad, I'm feeling the depth of my sadness, or I'm feeling the depth of my turn on. Think about the implications for sex, right? I'm feeling turn on. I'm completely with the sensation of turn on. I'm bringing all my awareness to the sensation of turn on. As I bring my, who's heard this phrase is where focus goes, energy flows. Okay, this is what that is. Where you bring your awareness, you brought your awareness to turn on, right? You're going to get more turn on. You bring your awareness to sadness or whatever it is you're expressing in the moment, you're going to get more of it. You're going to amplify it just naturally by bringing your awareness. Okay, so the final piece of this, of embodiment, again, very few people get to these last two stages, is this integration, to feel this full integration. Either we give ourselves to the feeling completely, we just let ourselves have a rant, or we feel, right? Or we give ourselves to the thoughts. That's the same thing. Thoughts are our feminine too. How many people know what I'm talking about? You give yourself to the thoughts as if they're fucking real, that they're not just generated by your mind, right? You actually think that they're real. 90% of thoughts are not real. They're not really happening. Okay? But we give ourselves to them fully without awareness. Or we give ourselves to the feeling without awareness. So once you get to that place where you're able to artfully and thoughtfully and consciously choose to amplify both your feminine, your feeling body, and your masculine, your awareness body, now you can transmit that. You can transmit it sexually. You can transmit it just by being in a room. You can transmit it as you walk down the street. You can transmit, and here's the real fun part, right? And this is what we work on a lot. You can kind of turn up the dial on either side based on what's needed. You can add more feeling, more sensation, more expression, your feminine. So you could be at like 70% expression, feeling, blah, 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 and 30% awareness. Or you could get more still, right? You're amplifying your masculine. So for guys who've done masculine practice with me, you're standing like a fucking tree, but there's all this feeling going through your body. So you're at like 70% awareness and structure and about 30% feeling. So we can, as humans, get really skilled at dialing the kinds of embodiment, and that's what makes it art. Okay, again, can be a little esoteric. You've never heard me talk. You're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Well, but if you've actually practiced it, you know what I'm talking about. There's a real capacity, right? And we'll do a little practice at the end just to kind of bring this home. Okay, so we've got recognition, amplification, embodiment, integration, and then transmission, right? When you transmit something, you've got this you're connected to a pure source within you, you're amplifying it, and then you're pressing it out into the world. If you've ever seen somebody do sacred dance, it's a transmission, right? Like if you've seen somebody do really beautiful sacred dance, it's a transmission. They're pressing that out into the world. Hell, if you see somebody twerk, it's a transmission. They're transmitting something out into the world. When you see a man standing fully present, right? Or you see um, somebody up at a podium. Here's a great example I love. How many Nine Inch Nails fans here? Any Nine Inch Nails fans here? Okay. So Trent Reznor, if you've ever seen Trent Reznor, dude is transmitting like fuck into the he's like he's in his lower legs, he's singing, he's like pressing it out into the audience, and he's a perfect example of that. So great artists, Prince is another one. Great artist Bruce Springsteen, if you're a Bruce Springsteen fan, he's both holding the audience and pressing everything into it. So great art, when you think about great art, it's this beautiful combination of of the masculine and the feminine, of our feeling and our structure, our our sensation and our awareness. It's this is how it works. When we use the body to transmit those things, we're now in embodiment practice. So I will stop there. If you have any questions on that, hopefully that gave you something to consider as you move through your day. So as you move through your day, you can say, do I want to amplify? Do I want to feel more? All right, so let me turn up my feeling. Okay, I want to bring more awareness to my feeling, and you'll feel more alive. That's what happens, is you'll feel more alive, and people will feel you feeling more alive, and people will feel more alive because you feel more alive, and then it becomes this sort of thing. All right, Nicolette, I'll let you run the board here.
Okay, we will start with Sylvia. Sylvia, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, John. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Sylvia.
I literally asked the divine if I need to speak today and ask my question, so be it.
Okay.
And I also asked it to put the right words into my mouth, because I'm going to ask probably the most important and vulnerable question of my life.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm already starting to cry. And it's I'll just put the question straight first, and I'll just give a little context after that. And the question is, why love doesn't want to stay? And basically, I have the situation that I never come to a point where I'm really in a relationship with the man that I'm in love with, and that somebody really chooses me as the woman in their life, although it is my biggest yearning to be really in a deep love, true, meaningful connection.
Mm-hmm.
I've started being fascinated with this topic since really a little child. My first books I read on understanding men, I was probably 11 or 12. And the main driving force between my whole healing journey, I'm on this path for about 9 years, is this. And
when you say this, you mean the
love in
love.
general.
Okay.
Love.
Okay. And you're under the impression, just so I'm clear, you're under the impression that love goes. You're saying
Yes.
love leaves.
Yes.
Okay. And where does love live?
Where does it live?
Yeah.
It lives in my family, between my parents and myself, I would say. It lives in many places in my life outside of my actual love life.
It's outside of you.
Mm.
I mean, in this definition that you're in this, what you're saying to me, and I'm just reflecting back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're letting me know that your definition, your belief about love is that it lives somewhere else. It lives in your parents. It lives in the men who leave. It lives. And
okay, that
okay.
would not
Do you
be
see where I'm
quite
going
exact.
with this? You see where I'm going with this?
I know where you're going with this,
Okay.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. It's just that
And you want no part of it.
Of course. I'm not saying, I'm aware this is a lifetime journey, okay.
Right.
And for the 9 or 10 years I'm on it, I've done so many things, you name it, really. It feels like I've worked with from
Yeah,
everything I
but
could work
Sylvia,
with.
but hold on. If your idea of love is that it's something other than a self-generated experience, it doesn't matter
No,
what you do.
no, this is not what it is.
Okay.
I'm having
Because how could it leave? I'm gonna press you on this.
okay,
You asked me the
okay,
question, so I'm gonna press you on this.
okay,
How can it
okay.
leave if it is so a man might leave or love or a relationship might end, but love is a self-generated thing. Love is a first of all, I believe, love is an infinite flow that we can tap into anytime we want. Now, if your definition that love only lives if people stay, then you're going to be in pain for the rest of your life around this one, because people never stay. They die, they leave, they betray us. It's just they don't do what we want. They don't love us the way we want. Nobody is going to give you that the way you want all the time. And so it will occur to you as if love is leaving. Even if you found a great man or a great partner, right? He would disappoint you.
Okay, then
Yeah.
let me rephrase.
Okay.
I don't come to a point to have the experience of love in a romantic relationship where, I mean, things start, but they end up far too early. Far too early, I mean, like, I don't come to a point where I have the experience of going deeper with a man into a relationship.
So you start getting close to somebody, and then it ends
Yes.
before you go into a relationship. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mainly, basically, yes. All kind of different reasons, but it always
Okay.
practically ends up this way.
All right. Permission to just speak honestly, or do you want?
Yes.
Okay, you just want me to hear you. I'm happy to do that. But if you want my intuitive hit, I'll give it to you. Yes?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Okay,
I
I
think.
figured. I just wanted to ask permission before I turned up the flame a little bit. Okay. I'm a man, right? And I'm feeling you, and I'm just curious. So if I was with you, I would feel the part of you that looks that has the definition that we've just talked about, that is looking for love to come somewhere else versus generating the love and evoking from there. So you can deny this if you want, but you occur to me as a woman who thinks that love needs to come from somebody else. Like he loves me if he stays. Now, if I'm a conscious guy, I'm attracted to some like if I'm masculine in general, I'm masculine. I'm looking for somebody who generates love and has love through their body. What I'm hearing from you is that, and I know this is tough. I'm not trying to be mean here, but I'm trying to serve you with ruthless honesty, which is as long as you think that love is going to come from somebody else, you're going to push away love. If love becomes something you give versus something that you're looking to get, if you're entering a relationship looking to get love, and this is not just you, this is everybody. So we all do this to some degree or another. When we do this, when we're like, where's my love? Where's my security? Where's my, where's the forever? When we do that, are we loving? When that's how we're entering a relationship, are we loving? If we're now my sense is that some of this comes from childhood stuff, from childhood, and like all of us, it comes, most of our definition, how we learned about love, comes from our childhood programming. So if you want to know what you learned about love, just, you can narrate it, like love dot dot dot, love dot dot dot, like just narrate it for me for a minute. But complete that sentence. Love leaves, or love isn't permanent, or love is hard, or love is easier.
It's about not being chosen to
Great.
experience love with.
Great. So that is what we would call an occurring world, right? I'm not chosen. And believe me,
Yes.
a lot of women have that. Men too, but it's a big occurring world for women. So if I'm not chosen is the occurring world that that kind of got installed in you when you were younger. All you're going to see, and when I say you, this is not just you, Sylvia, this is so many people, right? We do a whole process on this, and we do a whole process on this in our program. The occurring world, so some people have money is hard, or some people have life is a struggle, or some people have, love never stays, right? Or I'm not chosen. If that is the occurring world that you are living in, then what do you think you're going to see in a prospective partner?
I'm aware of all this.
I'm going to challenge. I don't think you are. I don't
I
think
am.
you are. Okay, well, so if you were, you would not have asked me the question you asked me, which is, why does love leave? If you were aware of it, you would not have asked me that. I mean, again, I'm not, I'm trying to help you here. Until you are aware that you are generating an occurring world where you're not
I
chosen.
understand that I generated. I'm aware of. I have worked my ass off for exactly this topic. I've been on my knees millions of times. I'm bursting my heart wide open every fucking day with something, and it is always I always come to this wall that I cannot cross. I have started.
Well, that's what an occurring world is, my love. That's what an occurring world is. So
I don't
no
know
matter
what more to do. This is the
there's
question.
definitely,
I understand you perfectly.
Okay, well, and so there is more to do, and I know that sucks. So if you want me to just go, yes, it sucks, there's more to do, I'm totally with you. And I feel your heart, my love. And so this is the reason why you're in pain, is because you have so much love to give. Not because love isn't coming back to you, but because you have so much love to give. Do you understand the difference?
Of course I understand this.
Okay, so be in the I have so much love to give. Like, just feel how much love you have to give. Beautiful. Beautiful. And so if you're in that space of I have so much love to give, without a need for reciprocity in the moment, right? Without the need for anything to come back. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But this is kind of the human condition. The human condition is I've got so much love to give and I need you to give me back. When we're in that state, where we need somebody to give us the love back so that we can give the love we have, David would call that a first stage moment. That's a moment where we're thinking, and when we do that, we're going to evoke. So if you're feminine and you're in the moment of, I've got so much love to give, but you need to give it back to me too, you're in a first stage moment. And that moment will oftentimes, the masculine partner in that moment will often respond with, I'm busy. I've got so much going on. I've got so much to do. Because their first stage is around freedom. So it's hard to go this deep into this stuff in a call like this, and I can't really serve you in 5 minutes. This is a lifelong flip where all of us as humans are not going to get the love we want if we're living in the space that it has to come from somewhere else. Period. Period. It has to come, it has to be given freely. So let's say you meet a man. Let's say you meet a man, okay? He's a good man. Let's say you meet a decent guy, right?
Oh, the last ones are more than decent, to be honest.
Okay, great. Great. So let's say you met a good person, right? A good man.
Yes.
And I have love to give you. I have love to give you. And you give the love the best you can, right? And they leave. More often than not, men will leave when they think that they're going to have to, this is so hard. All the women are going to fucking throw shit at me. When it's too much work.
Oh, honestly, the last...
So I'm just telling you why guys leave. Guys leave when they think that love is going to, you can nod guys, when we feel that love is going to be too much work, we bolt. And when we feel love is going to be too much work is when there is a hook on it, right?
This is not, especially in the last 2 years, this is definitely not the case. I mean,
Okay.
I'm really not the kind of woman that would clinch to a man or that would demand too much, like constantly attention or something.
But here's the thing. Maybe you just aren't listening to me, and it's okay. Maybe it's just not resonating. If your occurring world is love leaves, and I'm with you, you're going to see everything I do that's going to validate that occurring world.
Yes,
so you're going to see. So if I'm a man seeing that and feeling that, I'll try to love you. But your occurring world be saying, no, you're going to leave, or no, you're not going to stay, or no, it's not enough.
Yes.
Okay. And that is work. So I want to make sure.
Understand.
Okay.
It's just the helplessness of me working on this. I have the feeling for years, and the moving of reality is so fucking slow that I have come to true exhaustion, because this is not something I understand, but I'm not working since yesterday on this. I understand that I projected and I probably emanated no matter what I say or what I do, and that it is my energy. And the moment we start to get closer, my fear kicks in. I know the moment that my fear kicks in, and that I start to expect him leaving. I understand it. I'm working on this energetically, somatically,
Right.
feminine practices, you name it, for a few years now, and it changes so slowly.
Yes.
That I'm in a point of exhaustion.
Yes, I can feel that, and I feel you. I do feel you. I'm not trying to say. I hope this isn't coming off as insensitive. And what you're pointing out is that no matter what work we do, right? Because you just said, I believe you. You said you're doing all this work to express it and work with it somatically, to work with it in feminine practice and all of that, okay? If the occurring world does not change, okay? If the occurring world does not change, all of that stuff kind of is, I don't want to say useless. It's not never useless, but it supersedes that. So I'll give you a mini version of this. Mm-hmm. Pick something else. Men are dying to claim me, or they're they want me so badly.
No, the first one was great.
Okay, great. So that is your meditation now, because the first one, they're going to leave or they won't choose me. That's something that was given to you early on in your life. Somebody, some parents, we all have these things, right?
Many people.
Yeah. So great. So that's not your fault. Like, that's not your fault. But now you're a grown woman and you want to change this, and I honor you for all the work you're doing. I really do. Like, I can feel how deeply you're working on this, and I can feel how fucking frustrating it must be to hit this wall again and again. Here's my assignment for you, if you're willing to take it.
Yes.
Choose a new mantra and make it part of your practice. So if you're doing feminine practice, make they're dying to claim me. So just give me a like just move. Give me a move. I'm doing it. You can do it. So give me a move of like they're dying to claim me.
Just a second.
Okay. Just use your hands or your shoulders. Beautiful. Beautiful. Men, do you feel this? Right? So everybody's fucking smiling. Everybody's smiling. Okay, hold on. Before you tell me blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, you just did that. And it literally, I watched like 5 or 6 guys smile like that.
I'm doing a version of this for a month or so, like on a daily basis. I just came to me, like, yeah.
Perfect.
Like I have 5 minutes a day that I do this kind of.
Yes, and unfortunately, because the installation and the karma and all that stuff is deep, you know, that's necessary. You have to do it every day, and every time. Here's the trick, because you just saw guys light up, like they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll choose that, I'll choose that." So when the thought comes, they're not going to choose me. They don't want to choose me, right? That's the moment to reinstall in your nervous system this new belief. And it might take months or a year or so. But to combine the embodiment and this new belief possibility, right? Because you're just acknowledging that it's a possibility. And when you move in that way, you are magnetic. I mean, we just saw it. So, how much you have to do that every day is probably more than you think to change the karma.
I know.
And I'm just, and it sucks. It sucks. I get it. But when we're talking about years of karma and childhood programming or lifetimes, and so, you know, I mean, I can't give you, you know, relationship coaching for a relationship that's not here yet, but I can tell you that the thing to focus on is how beautiful that movement was. And you could feel it. Like even now, your face feels softer, you feel more like an invitation, and you've expressed a truth that you want to create in your life. So
yes,
there might be grieving still to happen, and I want you to honor that. So you have this grief of a lifetime of disappointment from childhood, from past relationships. Create a space for that.
I
want
do.
to give you, okay, great. So continue to create a space, but give it a time limit. 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Go in fully, feel all that grief, and then when you get up from that, you end with this. And then all day long, I mean, I wish it could be different. I wish you could just do it in the morning.
Well, I'm prepared for this. I know it, and there's anyway no turning back. So it's
great.
I don't have any choice.
Yeah. So then you walk down the street and you dance, and every time you start to feel it, you bring it back into your life. You bring it back to your meditation. Now I'm going to say this, and I think it's even if you do that forever, you're definitely going to elevate your transmission, and you're going to elevate what you attract for sure.
It's already,
And
yeah.
yeah, and the part of you that feels that there's not enough love, that is not going to go away. That is your innate feminine. Just like every masculine being on this call thinks that there's not enough freedom in their life. They're under the impression that more freedom is needed. More money, more sexual freedom, more time. Like if you watch any masculine being, they're creating their life around more freedom. Right? You're going to always, always, always feel like you need more love. That is not a problem. It's not. It's a gift. It's a gift. And the more you can rest in that it's a gift, that I need more love. Like here's the gift of me needing more love. here's you're with a guy and you're like, here's the gift of me needing more love. I'm so needy for love. If you can do that without it being a demand on his attention, he will find it incredibly valuable.
This is
And
the
it's
only
hard.
thing that I don't allow myself to really do, to express it so straight. And this asking this question on this call is for me kind of
No,
like preparation.
well, and it is beautiful.
Speaking
It's
this truth
you're
openly to
so
men.
lovely right now in just owning it. I will always need more love. And so the more that our feminine, anyone in their feminine can own, including me, like I have a very strong feminine. And when my feminine's activated, I need your love. And I do. And the more I can own it, the more I receive it. The more I'm in conflict with it, which I think you are. I think you're in a bit of conflict because somebody told you that expressing that was wrong.
Yes, many
Oh,
times.
yes, yes, yes,
Or
yes.
I was left because I showed feelings or whatever.
Yes, it's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible. Um, and now your body is relearning that. And yes, it will take time, my love. And I'm sorry that it feels like it's excruciating. But even that excruciatingness, when fully owned, is magnetic. It's magnetic. And so I hope we got to some place that you could walk away and have some things to work on and feel. It will change if this. So as you do this movement, just imagine they're dying to claim me, or they're whatever feels best in your mind. Maybe it'll morph. Maybe it's they're fighting over my heart, or whatever. I mean, whatever makes you feel good. That seems to make you feel good. So you just like walk down the street like they're fighting over my heart. Like, and the more you do that, the more your transmission will shift. It might take some time, but it will. And I'm saying this for everybody to identify the occurring world like you just saw her do, and then you get to choose another fucking occurring world and then embody it just like she did. It took her 30 seconds and she was like, they're dying to choose me, or whatever it was she did. It was beautiful. Everybody can do that. And that's a perfect example of what we were talking about identifying and embodying. Identifying, amplifying, embodying, transmitting. You guys see it. You saw the whole arc in that one thing. Okay. Sylvia, God bless you. Thank you so much for staying with me on this. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it from my heart.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sylvia. Okay, next we're going to go to Fan.
Hey, John.
Hello, Fan.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
Good to see you again. I don't know if you remember, we spoke several months ago.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd come back and check in as well. And just around the embodiment, the masculine, feminine stuff. There's been a lot of work that I've been doing internally. Had a lot of realizations, been piecing a lot of the dots together. And conceptually, I understand. I've connected so much stuff from my childhood and fully understand it to the best that I can right now. My challenge right now is the embodiment part. So I, for years, numbed myself out, my stories and distortions and everything. I kind of developed a fantasy. I was living in a fantasy state because my reality at the time when I was younger didn't feel safe. And I ended up creating this fantasy and seeing the world as a fantasy because that felt safe to me. So for many, many years, I completely numbed myself out. So my challenge right now is the embodiment of feeling my body and kind of my relationship to the feminine. I've been open to some feedback.
Well, your relationship, hold on, let me just stop you there. Your relationship to your body is your relationship to the feminine.
Sure.
So I'm just pointing this out for all the masculine beings here. Our relationship to our thoughts is our relationship to the feminine. Our relationship to our feelings is our relationship to the feminine. So if your relationship to your body is one of, I'm not quite sure how to feel it, or I don't feel it, or it's scary to feel, right? That's going to translate into your relationship with women and many people in the world, right?
And that's exactly it. That is exactly it. So I'm about 2 months into a feminine cleanse at the moment. So I'm going through that process. I kind of set it for 3 months, but I feel like I'm coming towards that kind of 3 month mark. I feel like it's going to be longer. I might need to set it for 6 months and then take it from there. But I've already started kind of noticing a detachment from needing that kind of love me, approve of me, accept me as I'm walking down the street as well. Like the energy is already starting to kind of like shift, and a lot of things are actually coming to the surface as well, like a lot of emotions, like releasing a lot. So I just thought I wanted to check in and just see if there's any other advice or something that you can do, because I've always found myself being so rigid, so serious, like I fucking got to stick up my freaking ass, right? And even a girl who I'd spent a bit of time with a few months ago before getting on the cleanse, she gave me some great feedback in a loving way. She kind of said to me, look, you're too rigid, you know, like you just got to do this and you've got to do that. And I realized I was also, I was stuck in an addiction of fixing myself, right? For many years, doing a lot of the work, the personal development. And I came to the realization that I just need to stop, because there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not broken. I don't need fixing, and just start surrendering and start just allowing and trying to come back into that present moment. So I'm having these realizations now, and I know it's a journey and it takes time. But I wanted to get some feedback on how do I get that integration of the masculine and feminine, and even my relationship to the masculine as well. Growing up, my very toxic masculine like example was my father. Weren't allowed to express ourselves, open up, etc. So all of that was showing up in my previous relationships as well. So hence the reason why I'm doing the work. I just want to find that integration in that, and how do I kind of like show up in the world that way?
Yeah, well, I think you're on the right track, Fan. You know what I mean? Like, I think, is it Fan or Fawn?
Fan.
Okay. You're on the right track. I think a cleanse will bring up all of the things that are wanting to bubble up to the surface. So you will naturally have a lot of material to work with, to feel. You'll have a lot of material to feel. Grief of your childhood, grief of past loves, grief of not having the kind of father that would let you express your heart, you know what I mean, whatever, or the mother that didn't give you support, whatever it is. And so part of the, you know, a lot of men think that the cleanse, the feminine cleanse, is about just staying away from feminine energy. It's not. It's about getting to know who you really are. Outside of the posturing and that we do for women, right? It's getting to know who you really are. And who you really are might be a guy who's got a super sensitive heart. Who you really are might be a guy who longs for deeper love. Who you really are might be a guy who wants to express himself much more than he's allowed, right? Who you really are might be a guy, like I realized when I went through this, I went through it for 9 months the first time, and then recently for about 8 months. What I realized was that I have needs. That I have needs. I can be needy, and I have needs. My neediness, if I own, is actually kind of adorable, and women like it. If I own it, if I'm like, I'm so needy right now, baby, I just need you to love on me. And normally that works out pretty well, right? It's when I disown it. So I learned that I'm actually kind of needy. I learned that I have needs. I learned that, what else did I learn in my cleanses? Oh, I learned that I'm jealous and possessive. Like, I don't want to share you with anybody. Nope. I'll take them out. Right? I'll take them out. And so I've learned that I'm actually kind of jealous. When for years I thought, no, I'm wide. I'm spiritually wide. Like I can, like, you know, and I did that, and that's not who I am. You know, I've learned that I'm like I've learned that I'm a bit impulsive, and I've learned to love that. So the cleanse is going to be about you learning who you really are. And as you do that, it will naturally become easier to feel. because you're going to be in alignment with the truth of you. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Sure. Yeah, that does.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that does.
that's the kind of process of it. But I would direct you to, if you haven't done the virtual workshop stuff yet, we have like a 7-day thing you can get on there and dive into the feminine practices. Nicolette leads some, her and I lead some. That helps to open up your body, your meat body, because you're kind of a dense big dude, right? You're kind of a bear, right? And so you're just denser. Your nervous system is denser. So if you've been doing linear movement most of the time, like lifting weights or running or doing, these are all linear, very masculine style movement practices. I would add some feminine, some non-linear movement, either sacred dance, 5 rhythms, non-linear movement. We have some on the virtual workshop. There's a guy named Cass Phelps who I've learned from, who's fantastic in this. He teaches it as well. So that's where I would send you, just in terms of practicing opening your body and getting more fluid.
Sure.
Yeah.
That feels right. I feel like that is exactly it, what I kind of need. Like putting on some music, dance, and just getting that body just flowing and moving. And as part of the I mean, I don't know if you can see, like in front of me, I've got the ocean here, and the mountains are like 40 minutes away. That I found has been phenomenal for me. Just going up the mountains in complete isolation has been, yeah.
Yeah, masculine bliss, bro. I mean, I will hunt. Anybody who knows me knows I will chase waterfalls. I literally go up to Yosemite. I'm not sure where you live, but I'm the same way. I need that, and that's beautiful. And something about, so being in nature, that helps loosen up your body, right? Just being deep in the woods or on a rock next to a waterfall or right next to the ocean, that helps loosen up your body. But the breath and the movement is really important. So I would start to journal on this. I want to give you something concrete to work with. So start a journal about who you really are. Like, you're going to discover, like, I'm a guy who is sad about his father. And then write a little bit on it. A paragraph or two. You don't have to write a fucking novel, whatever feels right. I'm a guy who yearns for love. Because you are, I can tell. Right? You're a guy who yearns to love deeply. Right? So own it and write about it and feel it. Right? And then do some, there's a dozen or so nonlinear movement practices on the virtual workshop. You can get them for free for a week or something. And then do some of those and get that in your body and stay longer than 3 months in the cleanse. That would be, you're just getting to the place where it takes 2 or 3 months for the real stuff to start to come up. It's in that last month or two where it really gets good.
How do you deal with the interactions with the women that are in your life that you have to kind of be with and spend time with? And
kind of like it's a transaction, light and polite. Yep. Thank you. Like, I had a daughter, right? And my daughter, I would share with my ex-wife. And at the time, my ex-wife I was still very attracted to her. So I'd pick Claire up and it would be very transactional. Thank you so much. I'll get her back at 2. Like you're buying a coffee from a woman at Starbucks.
Right.
So you're not opening your heart. You're not gazing into their eyes. You're not doing long hugs. It's very light and polite, very transactional.
Right. Okay.
Polite, not cold, but polite and warmish, but not so much that it starts to spark something, because women who feel you on a cleanse will be attracted to your cleanse. It's the feminine.
I've already started noticing that.
Yeah, the feminine is the feminine is notorious for wanting to knock us off our single-minded focus, especially when it involves depth. So if you're going into a cleanse and you're deepening, you're going to become even more attractive to the women around you. and you're going to have to be just more meticulous.
That's great. Thanks for the feedback. One quick thing about breath work I wanted to ask is, because I've always had issues with my breathing. It's always been super, super shallow, and I can't even feel it at the kind of like the trunk of my body, right down to kind of like beneath the, like the sacral and the kind of root chakra is. And I've always, I'm doing a lot of grounding work. I'm trying to ground and do whatever I can there as well. Is there a particular breathwork practice that you recommend to really
the one we started with,
man?
that? The one we started with. Breathe into your pelvic floor. Super simple. Breathe into your pelvic floor. Create it like make your lower abdomen like a vase. So if you were gonna sit upright and breathe in and out through your nose, consider your nose like the top of the vase. And then breathe down into your pelvic floor and feel it expand in all directions. And then when you exhale, pull the pelvic floor up gently. Can you feel that? So just focus on your pelvic floor. And your pelvic floor is where a lot of emotion is stored, but it's also the center of your dantian. If you know the dantian, it's the sort of power center. It's the masculine power center in Qigong and in Taoist teachings. So it stores all your feeling, but it also stores, like when you punch in martial arts, you're punching from your pelvic floor. So so just that practice for 5 or 10 minutes a day, just in and out, very slow, very cool, will actually wake up your lower abdomen and your genitals and your feeling body.
Amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Good luck on that. Good luck on that.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, I think we have time for one more. We'll go to Tracy.
Hey, first, everybody, I'm so enamored with this work, and I love you all for being here and sharing so vulnerably. John, when you were talking in the very beginning about the embodiment piece and really describing embodiment, part of my history is how not okay it was for me to share what I was really feeling in my body. And not surprisingly, I attract men who I blow out big time with by the time it shows up and I'm coming to trust my partner, and I have big grief or big sexiness or big whatever, it feels, I have that too much story, right? I'm too much. And so I'm in a bit of a war with my don't do too much and be true and authentic and reveal feels very confusing for me. And then I try, maybe I don't do it as artfully as I could. He collapses and I'm stuck in my own.
Yeah. Okay. So let's make the distinction between you're too much and it might be too much for the moment. Okay. Right? There's a big difference. Yeah. Right? There's a big difference between I'm too much and this much energy might be too much for this moment.
Okay.
Right? Now that's an awareness piece. That's an awareness piece. That's your masculine, right? Like I talked about at the beginning, being aware of the moment. Your feminine, pure feminine, is just going to want to give it all.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody let me give it all. So I'm going to give it all right now. You know, here it is, take it. Right?
Totally.
So without awareness, you see what the results can be on that, right? So first, bring awareness to what the moment can take. Not him, but the moment. He's part of the moment, of course, right? What does the moment need? Because when you're in the, I just want to express everything, you're actually in a first stage moment. You're in a selfish moment.
Yeah.
Right? When you're in a moment of relating, like I'm going to share some, he's going to share some, we're going to resonate. That's what David would call a second stage moment. I would call it a healthy moment. When you're in the moment of giving what's true, in the amount that will open the moment to love, then you're in a sacred moment. Do you
So
get those differences?
Yeah, I totally do. When I'm in that first stage place, which I think as I'm starting to really give myself permission to feel more and to trust more, I'm walking right into my own first stage stuff.
Right.
Is there a particular practice in the virtual workshop or somewhere that you would recommend? I don't want to get too masculine with myself, because that has been sort of the natural byproduct of how to
Yeah.
contain. Yeah.
So you've got grief, right,
Yes.
and anger around
Yeah.
being stifled. Yeah, that's all good. So use the nonlinear movement practices. Nicolette has a bunch of, bring the grief and the anger to those practices. I
Okay.
know there's a lot of them. Nicolette, maybe you can identify a couple and they can find them on the virtual workshop, but
There's definitely a grief one that I have done over and over, that it's shocking in a 19-minute, I don't even think it's that long, how I'm end up on that mat in child's pose sobbing. Like, even if nothing is alive for me when I go into the practice.
Yeah. So you bring it to your mat.
Okay.
You bring the like, let's say the full expression. Let's just say the full expression. You bring that to your mat with awareness.
Okay.
So even if it's 90% expression and 10% awareness, you're training yourself to be aware of how much you're expressing. Or I know there's practices on there about you're wrapping your feeling with consciousness, right? There are practices there. That's another way to work with this. And then when you're with your partner, you can be like, you can be like, maybe it's just a sound, right? Okay. Now, the other piece is you bring it to women's work.
Yeah. Okay.
Join a women's group and
Yeah.
bring it, and because women will be like, yeah, like, give it all, like bring it all, like because that's the beauty of a women's. That's what women have been doing together for thousands of years. Feeling, emoting, touching, like that's how your feminine gets nourished, right?
The trick for me in that is to find the women who are not going to jump on the bash man bandwagon, because that's not helpful for me.
No, I agree, and they're out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I see them all the time. I work with
Powerfully claiming.
many of them are on this call, right?
Yeah.
So we have, so yeah, you definitely need to find the don't bash men, but
Yeah.
they're out there. So that would be the second one. Bring the grief, bring the anger to women. Bring it to your mat, to the divine. Let's say you're bringing it to the divine, right?
Yes.
Right. And so ultimately, you're okay. The other piece is, when you do bring it, I want you to notice the distinction. Like, let's say, what's one that you always get tripped up on? Anger or?
It really is a muddled mess of anger and grief and pout.
Okay. So anguish.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So feel the difference between giving anguish, like giving it, right? Which occurs to most masculine nervous systems like
Oh yeah.
right? Because men don't breathe and men don't ground. Most of us, most of us had to learn this stuff, and most of us are still in process. So most guys do not have the nervous system capacity to stay open in the midst of full feminine anguish and grief. We don't have it. So the way to deal with that, and I know you've heard me talk about this, you've likely heard me talk about this, is you reveal it out. You don't project it forward. So to practice this. Reveal it out. So it's like this. It's like you're opening as anguish.
Yeah. Oh.
Right? So that way you're an invitation for him to be with and enter, so to speak, with his heart, with his consciousness, maybe even sexually, right? Because you're opening like a flower out. Here's my anguish.
Yeah, the other feels more like almost like a challenge, like I dare you, like I
It's
dare
a
you.
fire. It's like it's the different. The example I use is a fire hydrant versus a flower, right? Because, and this goes for men too. This is just as true for men. Men will go "Bleh!" Like we'll have a reaction, "Blah!" Right? Versus opening as. So you get wide with it, right?
And is there a good is there a prompt for like a, you know, is now a good time, baby, kind of a thing that you guys like?
Well, I prefer responsiveness, and I think responsiveness usually works. So, but again, if it's practice this first, right? Yeah, is now a good time is often it's so your awareness knows if he's focusing on something, it's
You're
not the
always
time to bring.
focusing. You guys are always focusing on
Well, then you
something.
say, "Hey, baby, when can I have a few minutes? When can I
Okay.
when can I share something with you?" Right? And again, it's hard to give deep relationship coaching in a 5-minute snip, right? So I'm just giving you a couple things you can work on, right?
We're doing depth and devotion. You'll have more time with
Yeah,
us. No
great,
worries.
great, great.
All
Yeah,
good.
that's great, and it'll be good. So, but between now and then,
Yeah.
focus on giving your full expression to the divine and to
Yeah.
other women, and then when you do need to respond as quickly and honestly as possible, as an opening as. So you can even say to your prompt should be to yourself. I'm opening as desire. I'm opening as anguish. I'm opening as da 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 da. You feel that?
Yeah.
That prompt should be silent to yourself. You're
Oh,
looking into his
that's so good.
eyes. You look into his eyes. I'm opening as desire. I'm opening as grief. I'm opening as longing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Nicolette, I can take one more short question and then we're going to do about a 10-minute practice to wrap up.
Okay. I was thinking we might want to take a little break, but yeah.
Okay, so let's take a 3-minute break. I will have 5 minutes for a question, and so I'll be a quick five. It'll have to be 5 minutes. I can't give you any more, and then we're going to do a 10-minute practice.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's take a 3-minute break, and I'll be right back.
Ало, аз искам да проверя дали нещо не искаш някъде може да е.
All right. All right, let's jump in for one more quick question.
Okay, I don't know who's quick. So if you think your question's going to be quick, raise your hand, your physical hand right now. Daryl.
Thank you. Hi, John. How are you?
Good, Daryl.
All right. So my question is, I've been doing embodiment practice here for a little while, so I've had the experience of what that feels like. So I know the difference between when I'm embodied and when I'm not. However, I have noticed there are times when the best way I can describe it is it feels like something gets hijacked, and I have a hard time getting back to that place of feeling embodied. My mind starts going, and I'm seemingly unable to turn it off. I'm curious what you would say about that.
So basically what you're describing is the moment of momentum, of mental momentum. So oftentimes there'll be something that happens in our environment, we'll start thinking, and then the thoughts become a momentum. They're literally energetic, right? So the thought loop is energetic, and that energy has a lot of groove to it because you've thought the same kinds of thoughts for years. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we'll drop into these thought loops that are very well grooved, and it just takes a certain stimulus, or sometimes they just come out of nowhere, but they're the same fucking thoughts because we've habitually thought them for years. So the only way to overcome that is to bring more energy to override the thought form than the thought form. You can't think yourself out of the thought form. I mean, you can, but it takes a lot of focus, whereas you can do it in 30 seconds by bringing a blast of energy. So the best thing that I could think of, like give me a quick example of something that feels like a feeling / thought that you have consistently. I'm not enough, or they're not listening, or everybody wants a piece of me, or da 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 da. Everybody's.
I mean, one of them is feeling. I'd say a common one, at least in relationships, is feeling a sense of not being heard.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not being heard. So let's say that's coming up, right? Let's say that's coming up. Where in your body do you feel that?
Usually in my chest, right in the sternum.
Great. Yeah. So bring your feet to the floor and sit up really straight. I would have you do this standing, but you've got headphones on, so I'm going to have you do it sitting. Okay. So you've got this thought, I'm not being heard, da 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 da. Excuse yourself, go into the other room, and then from the center of your body, I want you to take 30 seconds, and from the center of your body, I want you to shake it out as if you're shaking it off the center of your body. So it might look like something like Begin. Center of your body. Center. Make a sound. Like shake off the feeling. I'm not being heard. Good. There you go. Yeah, somebody says like an animal. Yeah, like an animal shakes from the center. A dog shakes. They're not shaking their fur. They're shaking from their spine, right? Mm-hmm. So can you feel that? Is there more space now?
Yeah, I feel more energy, and I definitely feel like a more of a breath in the chest.
Yes. That's the amount of energy needed to override a thought form that's habitual. That's one way. I like to do that because it clears shit stuck in my center column. It takes 30 seconds. It's very effective. Anytime. I did it last night in a parking lot, right? You can do it anywhere, right? So it's you can just do it anywhere. Another one is 3 minutes of ego eradicator, if you know this. Mm-hmm. Just do 3 minutes of breath of fire like this. Pretty much clears out any, right? So the concept that I want you to get is that it takes more energy. You have to bring enough energy to override the habitual thought form, whatever that thought form is. Like we talked with Sylvia, the thought form is love is going to leave. So she needs to bring in that moment more energy, a different energy to override the thought form because it has momentum. It is, that thought form is your karma. That thought form is your karma. You need to bring energy to override that karma again and again, maybe 100 fucking times a day. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. What are you gonna do?
Now, is there a certain point where that just becomes more the norm than the...
Yeah. It'll come, but it'll clear fast. So you'll just get more, you'll be less inclined to stay in a thought form that's not serving you.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just, let me know how that works. I wanted to be, give you a quick fast.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Daryl. Okay. Everybody go ahead and close your eyes. Bring your feet firmly to the floor. Bring your navel, pull your navel in slightly. Lift your chest, tuck your chin. You can put your hands on your upper thighs. And think about a trait that you want to embody more of. Maybe it's the trait of devotional love, or fierce love, or deep presence, or dark love fuck, or whatever it is, or seductive anguish. Just think of a trait that you want to bring more of into your life. And then once you have that trait, just pick one, begin to breathe in from the earth, through the soles of your feet, through your sacrum, through your hips, through your lower body. Breathe in the energy of the earth. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine, you're going to imagine spreading that trait through your body. Put on a little music for you. Nicolette, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear this. So focus now. Inhale, bring energy from the earth up through your lower body. Exhale, spread that feeling you want to experience, that trait you want to embody from your chest, from the center of your heart maybe, to the edge of your ribs. Literally use the breath and your intention to amplify this trait through your body on every exhale. So feel more fierce love spread through your body as you exhale. Feel more devotional love flow through your body as you exhale, whatever it is. Inhale, pull from the earth. Trust that the earth wants to give you all the energy that you need. Exhale. Spread this trait through every cell of your body, through your organs. Feel every cell getting plump with it. Feel it spread through your fingertips to your skin. Stay with it. Focus for another few minutes. Just focus. Inhale, pull the energy that the earth wants to give you up through the center of your body. Exhale, spread this trait. Literally feel your body start to take the shape of the fierce love or the devotion or the dark lover or whatever it is that you want to experience more in your body. Feel your body get wide with it. Focusing just another 90 seconds or so. Now as you inhale, pull that energy up from the earth, pull the energy in from the space around you, and then exhale, spread it out so it's almost pressing through your skin now into the space, into the room. You can even lift up your arms in a position that feels good, if it feels good to transmit this way. And begin to transmit on every exhale this trait, this embodied trait that you're bringing more of to the moment. Stay with it, don't drift. Focus now, be disciplined. Focus your mind, focus your body. Make your whole body a transmission of this feeling, this trait, this embodied experience you want to give more of. One more minute. Feel yourself pressing this trait out into the world, out into the room. Feel the people that this part of you will touch. Feel the people that this part of you will serve. Feel how this lights them up. Maybe your partner, maybe your work, maybe your children. Spread this part of you out into the world as a gift. Every exhale, pressing it more out into the world, your depth, your love, your sex. Feel it lighting up the people of your life, people you touch. Just a few more moments, a few more breaths. Grounding your feet down into the earth. Spreading your chest wide, sitting like a king, like a queen. Give this part of you to the world fully. And then slowly now, without losing this experience of expansion, this width, this fullness, let your breath normalize, keeping the shape that you've created. Notice what might feel a little more different, a little more alive, a little more expressed in your body. You can slowly open your eyes. Just bookmark that. That's available to you anytime. Maybe there'll be a time during the day where you need to feel more, you need to bring more depth. So you've got that was an 8-minute practice. The music is called Ardas Bai by Simrit Kaur. Maybe there's a time you need to bring more devotion. Maybe even before sex or before getting home to your partner, before your partner comes home. So you inhale from the earth and you make your body more full with devotion. So that's just a little taste of what you can do to amplify anything, pretty much anything. Okay. Thank you very much for your beautiful questions and trusting us with your time and your hearts, and really, really always enjoy spending time with you guys. So I'll turn it back over to Nicola.
Great, and please make me the host, John. Thank you, John. That was beautiful practice, and thank you all. So I will put the link for Claire's Place in the chat right now if anyone wants to contribute. And also, I'm going to put in the chat our upcoming events and things that still have openings that you can register for. Depth and Devotion, which Tracy mentioned, our enrollment closes for that at the end of this week. But everything else is open for a little bit longer, so you can go ahead and take a look. And otherwise, it's just a pleasure. So wonderful to see all your emojis and your comments. I wrote the name of the song in the chat. It'll also go on our YouTube video, but it's Ardas by Simrit. We'll see you all next time. We'll announce the next call about a week before we're ready for it. All right, see you all soon. Bye.